Hi, you all, CHD 204, and this is going to be the lecture video for Chapter 2 entitled Play. Many times, parents may ask you if you are working in a center, all my child does all day long is play. What in the world are they learning? So this is a real common question. And one of the things that parents do not realize is that play is deservedly one of the most important facets in an early childhood educational program. A fundamental tenet of early childhood education is that engaging in play is one of the most effective ways for young children to learn. Play enhances the child's developing brain structure and function, and it promotes the processes of learning. In Chapter 2, entitled Play, we're going to focus on the importance of play when developing curriculum for the young child. We're going to talk about the stages of play and current research, and also the teacher's role and the impact of culture and intentional practices to support the value of play so that you can plan intentional learning experiences. So the first section of Chapter 2 is called Play Pedagogy. So that word is pedagogy. So you'll see it often throughout this text, and you want to make sure that you know how to pronounce it. So it's called Play Pedagogy. Play is a synonym for teaching. The pedagogy of play is broken into three key components: choice, wonder, and delight. Choice reflects not only the child's decision to engage in play, but also decisions about what form and direction that play will take. Wonder is reflected in the child's continued engagement in play. A child with wonder will use their imagination and push boundaries. Wonder also helps children practice new skills. Delight refers to the child's laughter and feelings of happiness as they engage in play. Play experiences that are developmentally appropriate support children across all developmental domains. So, the play of pedagogy play pedagogy will really kind of gives you an idea of activities that you can use in your classroom that supports a child's development. And one thing we want to always keep in mind with the materials that we choose is open-ended materials. And that means materials that can have multiple uses, okay? And not just necessarily the use in which we think it is intended for. So an example of some activities is just having empty boxes or a mound of sand that are open-ended materials and those things support choice, wonder, and delight. All of these classic items just really enthrall children, and they have little or no cost to the teacher, and they provide hours of uninterrupted play and learning if supported. Okay, and that's the key word, if supported. Another example of supporting choice, wonder, and delight is building a fort, like by just using sheets and blankets and play clothes, pillows, just reimagining a type of item and using it a different way. But remember, with support is the key. So now let's talk about the stages and categories of play. Mildred Parton defined the stages of play on ages of children. Her 5 stages of play include unoccupied, solitary or independent, onlooker, parallel, associative, and cooperative play. She added an initial stage was termed unoccupied play, and this is when a child may be only watching others and not playing. Each stage provides resources for teachers to inform instruction and to educate families about their children's development. For example, if parents are concerned that their toddler is not interacting with other children at play, these stages of play can reassure them to know that their child is in the onlooker or parallel play stage and that their behavior is on track developmentally. So if you look in your textbook in chapter 2, you'll see a chart um, that defines each stage of play and then it gives you the accompanying age. So now let's move to the categories of play. Types of play can be divided into 3 categories: self-directed or free play, guided, and teacher-led. Self-directed play is at one end of the continuum, where teacher-led play is at the other end of the continuum. So it goes self-directed free play, guided play, and teacher-led play. Neither end of the continuum is effective by itself in creating a high-quality early childhood program. When skillfully supported by the teacher, the 3 categories in combination support language development, cognitive function, and conceptual learning. It is crucial for teachers to understand that simply letting children play is not enough. Teachers must create developmentally appropriate learning environments that promote healthy development and afford opportunities for children to explore and acquire new skills. Play is the main teaching device that supports a young child's development and learning, and the categories that can be interspersed amongst the curriculum. So let's talk about the first one on the continuum, and that is self-directed or free play. This involves both child-led and adult-led experiences. Types of self-directed or free play can include risky play, outdoor play, nature play, and pretend play. Risky play, well, all of these here in this self-directed play, teachers provide the play opportunities and materials, but strive to remain on the sidelines and interrupt the play as little as possible. Research shows us that this type of play builds executive function, and executive functions are defined as the mental processes that regulate thought and action in support of goal-directed behavior. So a type of self-directed or free play is called risky play, and it is a form of unstructured, thrilling play that children engage in when they assess their physical limits. In risky play, children fearlessly challenge their comfort zones. Risky play encourages children to become autonomous or independent and helps them make some competent decision and helps them become competent decision makers. An example of this might be using some real life tools to create a snack, playing disappearing games like hide and seek, and also creating sturdy structures to climb on can be some examples. And also some people believe that risky play makes children safer overall, because through these types of activities, they gain some real world or lived experiences, if you will, on which to base their future choices. Outdoor pretend play and superhero play. Remember, these are part of that self-directed free play that's at the very beginning of the play continuum. Of course, outdoor play, a lot of times we call it recess. And the CDC defines recess as regularly scheduled periods within a school day for unstructured physical play, activity and play. They should be daily in an early childhood program. And because outdoor play meets several of children's fundamental needs, you should never withhold recess or outdoor play as part of a punishment. Nature play, a lot of times we see that incorporated like in science and social studies, those types of things like planting a garden, building a butterfly garden, any of those types of things that you can do outdoors. Pretend play would be play that would be like fantasy, make-believe, dress up. Here, an example of that type of play might be if a teacher suggested that 2 children go over and play dinner with toy foods, and that would be like teacher-led pretend play. Student-led would be like if the children just go over to the home living center and play dinner by themselves without any prompting from the teacher. The final type is called superhero play. That would be, it's a form of pretend play where children take on those qualities that of what they might find like in Superman, Wonder Woman, as long as they are worth respecting, like honesty, courage, being able to do extraordinary feats for the good of all the people. We want to make sure though when we're doing that and encouraging superhero play, like by putting a pillowcase over their shoulders and turning it into a cape, that it is qualities worth emulating. Okay, we don't want those. That might be where might be using a pretend something for a gun or anything like that. Like we don't want to encourage those types of things and really want to kind of keep those out of our programs. So let's talk about guided play. So in the middle of the play continuum is guided play. And in guided play, teachers may provide materials and resources to support play choices. Guided play is common during pretend, investigative, and cooperative play. Guided play promotes language development across subject areas and is much more effective than rote vocabulary exercises. So when we're talking about investigative play, it is a time that we provide children to tinker, play around with, explore, experiment, and by doing that gives them autonomy and agency. Agency is defined as the child's ability to make and act upon choices, helps them solve problems and improve once again that with that executive function. Teachers should provide time for investigative play every single day. And during this time, children should be free to explore their environment, interact with their peers, and to play. Cooperative play is defined as play in which children work together to solve a problem or complete a task. This is usually guided by the teacher who presents a challenge and then often decides how children will be grouped in order to solve that challenge. Examples of cooperative play might include playing games like Candyland, Red Light, Green Light, working to solve a teacher-created mystery, or playing different roles as part of a pretend scenario. Teacher play. This is at the other end of the continuum in the types of play. So teacher-led play can occur in any of the types of play. Teacher-led play involves a high level of adult decision-making about the play experience, or a whole lot of adult control. An example is children following step-by-step directions to build a craft. The teacher, in this case, in teacher-led play, is going to decide how much to insert themselves into the play experiences based on whatever that learning target is for the activity and what the children's individual scaffolding needs may be. Now, with all of that said and all those different types of plays, what we know is that with limited time in a day, teachers must plan play experiences very carefully. Well-planned play experiences allow children to be spontaneous and use their decision-making and executive function skills. And remember, just turning children out and having materials and just letting them play, that's not what we're talking about. Of course, that is good and it should be part of the day, but that is not where you're gaining all of that teacher-led play. So we need to really make sure that we're real intentional with what we're allowing children to do and what type of play we are promoting. When planning for children's play, teachers identify the learning target while individualizing for children of all ability levels. A teacher who has a goal of increasing the amount of receptive language a child uses throughout the day may invite the child to the dramatic play area with another child who is more verbal to engage in a play scenario. So that would be like planning for very intentional play. Using those open-ended questions to provide children with that opportunity to use expressive language and to think and formulate an answer to the questions. And then when we implement play, so when we carefully plan those developmentally appropriate play experiences, the benefits to the children are maximized. So effective teachers offer play experiences in areas children are familiar with and plan curriculum based on the child's prior knowledge and experiences. The focus of this final section is called Cultural Differences in Play, is ensuring that all children are provided with the same opportunities. Diverse and equitable learning experiences should include all children. Play reflects and transmits cultural values, and culture is defined as patterns of belief, practices, and traditions associated with a particular group of people. Children's preferences around play reflect the culture and values they are raised with, regardless of where they came from. Understanding different ways in which families raise their children is important to inform a teacher's instruction. So, providing diverse play materials and changing your props frequently to relate to the children's real life interests and experiences is what we want to see here. And our goal in cultural differences in play is to make sure that not only are we helping the child understand their own culture, but to helping them to learn about and explore different cultures as well. So learning about their own and exploring and learning about different cultures as well. So that ends chapter 2 entitled Play, and I'll see you back next week for chapter 3.